Hello students, in today's session we will discuss analysis of redundant truss using unit rule method. See, we have already solved determinate truss in which we have seen that how to apply a unit load method. Whenever we go with redundant trusses, what I have repeatedly telling is that redundant is not a new concept, but it is a truss which has a certain degree of indeterminacy involved in it. When such a indeterminacy get involved, we call such a truss as redundant. Now, if we have an indeterminate truss to solve for, I will approach with the same unit load method, but only the thing changes over here is finding the redundant force and selecting the appropriate redundant force. How to do that and what are the steps? Steps basically I have enlisted here. We will understand the steps and then we will move towards the one question based upon this topic. Okay. So see here, the very first step is calculate the indeterminacy. As I said, certain indeterminacy, degree of indeterminacy is involved in your structure. That's why first of all you calculate how much indeterminacy or what is a degree of indeterminacy involved in a structure. Then you select the appropriate redundant member. So let's suppose you come across a degree of indeterminacy as 2. Then which one to be selected, which member or which reaction force has to be selected as a redundant, that you have to choose. The next is remove the redundant member and find the force P in the member of the truss for the given load system. Then apply a unit load pair in a place of redundant and find forces K in the member of the structure. Okay, and then from basically I have wrote here calculation of certain ratios, ratio of PKL upon A, K square L upon A, but we are not calculating it separately, but we will form a chart in which all these ratios will be calculated. Only question remains is how to calculate redundant, because earlier whatever we have is directly a P force and K forces. We will make a chart of P force, K force and we will analyze it. Here we don't have a P and K forces. Yes, we have, but along with it, a indeterminacy, a redundant force has been involved in structure. How to calculate that? For that, we have a formula. R equals to summation of PKL upon A in denominator or divide by K square L upon A. So finding this ratios are our final task. Once we find a redundant force, everything is clear. You just put the value of R at the place of redundant and P and K forces are already known to you. You find a final force in your members. Okay, so let's solve one problem based upon this concept. Question says that analyze the frame shown in figure for the forces in various members. All the members assume to have the same L by AE value. Okay, so when we find redundant, that time things will get easy because we are calculating summation PKL upon AE divide by summation of K square L upon AE. Right? So this L AE, LAE will get cancelled because LAE, L divided by AE or LAE is same for each and every member. That's why they will get cancelled with each other from numerator and denominator, right? So let's start solving this problem. Looking at the frame, you can see here the only one force of a 5 kilonewton is acting on our system. It has two supports. This frame has two supports. One is a hinge support, will carry two reactions, and one roller support carries one reaction at it. Now how to solve it? First step in our, which I have already told you, is finding the degree of indeterminacy. Once you find that, then choose your appropriate redundant member. Then find P forces, K forces, form a chart and get the answer, right? Here the degree of indeterminacy is, or degree of redundancy is, first of all I will calculate external R minus E. As a formula you know, R minus E. Reactions, how many reactions I have told? 3, 2 at hinge, 1 at roller, so total reactions are 3. 3 minus equilibrium equations. How many equilibrium equations we have? Of course 3. Summation Fy equals to 0, summation Fx equals to 0, and summation of moment at particular point is equals to 0. Put this equilibrium equations and reaction into the formula and we get the answer 0. It means that my structure is externally determinate. No extra unknown is left over, right? Now internal indeterminacy or internal redundancy. See here we are using this word redundant here. Do not get confused. It is just the indeterminacy we are trying to calculate. For the frames we know m minus in bracket 2j minus 3 is a formula to calculate internal indeterminacy where m stands for member, J stands for joint. Here the members are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minus how many joints? 1, 2, 3 and 4. How many joints are there? 4 joints are there. So 6 minus 2 into 4 minus 3 will give us an answer 1. Okay. So by looking at the degree of indeterminacy, we can conclude that my structure is externally determinate but internal degree of indeterminacy is 1. Now we understood that there is a 1 degree of indeterminacy, but which force to consider as redundant, that is the question. And see here, in this frame, now we have to choose. We have total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members. Out of the 6 members, which force or which member I am going to consider as redundant? Here they haven't asked us. They have asked us only the analyzed frame shown in figure with for the forces in various members. So instead, if the question asks find the deflection or find see, we have seen the problems for lack of fit as well as for thermal stresses, right? In the lack of fit, they have asked us that this member is shortened by the length or expanded or get longer by the certain mm. Then that will be your extended length, and that is where you have to focus and you choose the redundant from that. But thermal stresses is where in the thermal stresses problem you have taken that in the question they said this particular member is experiencing thermal stresses. It is cooled down or it is get heated by the temperature, right? Then that member you will take as a redundant. But here in this question, particularly in this question, they haven't asked us any, they haven't talked about any particular member. So here choice is yours, that whichever member you want, you can take it as a redundant. So let AD be a redundant. AD be a redundant means what? A, B, C and D. So I want to take AD as a redundant. AD as a redundant. Okay, let me check. Oh, alright. Namings are like this: A, B, wait a minute, A, B, C and D. Like this they have named it. I have forgot to write it, that therefore slight confusion occurs here. And we want to take AD as a redundant. Okay. Here it is mentioned as a C and here it is mentioned as a D. So I think A, B, C and D. These are the namings of our frame, and AD member means this diagonal member has taken as a redundant. Okay. Now whatever name has been given or that may causes a confusion here, but simply you understand the concept. Concept is that whenever you are dealing with the trusses which has only redundant forces, that time you can choose any member as a redundant. In case of lack of fit problems, the member which is getting longer or shorter, that members you will consider as a redundant. In case of thermal stresses, you will consider the third type of a member in which the member is getting heated or cooled down, the temperature variation is occurred in the member, that member you will consider as a redundant. Clear? So here I have taken, I choose AD as a redundant. Okay. Now you are thinking, no madam, I want to take a certain another diagonal as a redundant, or AB or vertical member as a redundant. You can choose that. Okay, it is not always compulsory to follow what teacher says. If a teacher is saying AD is a redundant, you can choose other way also. You can choose other force member or other member as a redundant, but I will tell you the answers will remain same. What we are analyzing for? We are analyzing for finding the forces in each of the members. We are analyzing the forces on each of these members. The forces remain same in each of this member, though you have selected the other redundant. Okay. So to calculate A, first of all, redundant I have taken is a AD, and when I go for P force calculation, I have to remove the AD member. See here, I have removed the AD member. It is not present now. Then consider a joint A. So this is A, B, C, and this is D. Now they said consider a joint A. So take the joint A. I have taken the initial forces going outside. Now I have taken summation Fy equals to 0. So force in FAC will be 0. All the vertical forces need to be 0. Force in FAB will be 0 because there is no other forces, no external forces acting at that joint, right? Therefore, force in AB direction, force in AC direction will be 0. Next is consider joint C. Consider joint C here. Here in this joint, the member forces are, how the member forces are, let's take the joint C separately. Here the vertical force is acting. Now to know the reaction at this place and this place, let's do the summation Fy for the whole structure. Now I am not taking any joint outside. What I am doing is I am applying the equilibrium equation for whole structure. Then summation Fy gives me Rc plus Rd is equals to 5 kilonewton. Okay, is equals to 5 kilonewton, right? Then I will take summation of moment at C equals to 0. At this point I am adding the summation of moment equals to 0. So Rd into this horizontal distance L, that is I am taking anti-clockwise positive. So clockwise will be negative 5 into horizontal distance L. So this L and this L will be same because both are the same distances, right? So Rd will become 5 kilonewton. It will go on other side. It will become 5 into L. L get cancelled. Rd becomes 5. So Rc will be 0. That is how I have calculated the reaction. Rc is 0, Rd is 5. And when I take a Rc joint separately, here 0 force is acting. Now the force in this member is also 0. So what remains is these forces. Inclined force has to be resolved into two directions. This is my 45-degree angle. And when I do summation Fx equals to 0, then it becomes, this force is FCD. So force FCD plus force, this force is CB, force CB, and here is the angle, therefore cos 45 equals to 0. That is my first angle, first equation. Next equation is, first equation I will write again, force CD plus force C, this is A, B, C, D. So this is B. Force CB into cos 45 equals to 0. Second equation will be summation of, this is summation of fx equals to 0. Now summation of fy equals to 0. Summation of fy will give force reaction RC, which is 0, plus force FCB into sine 45 equals to 0. So finally this is also 0. So what remains? FCB is equals to 0 minus sine 45. Anything divided by 0 is 0. So finally the answer becomes 0. Therefore forces in this member, this member, this member and this member, everything is 0. What forces, what member remain next is FBD. FBD will be 5 kilonewton. Take the summation Fy, you will get FBD is equals to 5 kilonewton. Now once we calculated all the P forces, we will move towards the K force. While doing the K force, what is the instruction? To remove the external loads. It means the 5 kilonewton load acting at the corner and the reaction has been removed, no reactions, and apply the redundant force 1 kilonewton in the direction of redundant force. Then consider, again you analyze the forces in member. Analyze the forces. Summation of, I am taking the joint A. Now A, B, C, D. Now A joint I have taken. Here you have 1 kilonewton force and 2 unknown forces, right? You analyze it with the help of summation Fx and Fy. Now I think you have habitual to it. Try to analyze it. You will get with the summation Fx you will get KB, K force in AB direction equals to 0.71 and K force in AC direction will be 0.71 kilonewton, or it will be 0.77. You have to check it, okay? Then consider a joint C in equilibrium and find the other forces in the members. Now the important part. Once you calculate the forces, what you are supposed to do is P force, K force, P into K force, K square. P into K force, why do you need? Because we want to take a summation of PKL upon AE divided by summation of K square L upon AE. So I want these two ratios. Therefore, I have taken PK and K square here. L upon AE and L upon AE will get cancelled in this problem because both the values will same. LAE is same for each and every member. Therefore, L upon AE from numerator and denominator get cancelled with each other. Next is once you calculate the PK and K square, do the summation of PK and K square. Now I want 3.55 divided by 4.016. Okay, that will be a value of your redundant. 3.55 divided by 4.016, giving me 0.839 value. See here, I have calculated redundant. Negative 3.55 divided by 4.016, giving me a 0.88 answer. Okay, that is negative. Okay, then redundant forces I have taken here in place of R. So see, here you have a P value 0, K value is 0.71. Okay, 0.71 multiply by R. R is 0.88. And R is negative here, therefore my final answer is 0.62 negative. Similarly, analyze each and every force here, and that is the final forces in your system. That's how you analyze the redundant forces. Here the tension is taken positive and compression is taken negative. This type of a remark you can add at the end of your chart. Right. Now I will in a quick session I will remind what way we have covered our A part of second unit. First we have done determinant trusses. Then we solved redundant trusses. In the redundant trusses we have solved two types, for thermal stress and for lack of fit. Okay. For determinant trusses, formula will be PKL upon AE. Summation of PKL upon AE will give us a deflection. Whereas RT in the redundant trusses, for only redundant trusses, formula to find redundant is summation of PKL upon K square AL upon AE. I will write it one more time. For redundant trusses, it will be summation of PKL upon AE divided by summation of K square L upon AE. That is your formula to find redundant in redundant trusses by unit load method. Next is your thermal stresses. For thermal stresses, what is the formula? Thermal stresses, and next is your lack of, wait a minute, yes, for thermal stresses one more formula, and for lack of fit you have another formula. For lack of fit you have lambda minus summation of PKL upon AE divided by K square L upon AE. Right? So this way we have three different formulas. For thermal stresses you have different formula, for lack of fit you have different formula, and for redundant trusses, purely and redundant trusses, you have a different formula to calculate redundant in that system. Once you calculate redundant, how you will find the final forces? Final forces will be P final will be P plus R into K, right? That is how you will find a final forces in the members. For thermal stresses, what was the formula? Delta L upon summation of K square L upon AE. That was the formula for TS, it means thermal stresses. So I hope you have remembered each and every formula I have taught you. Remember those formula, understand how to calculate P force, how to calculate K force, and how to apply and how to choose a redundant forces in the system. In the next class, whatever doubts you have, you can ask me. In the next class, we will start with the portal frame methods. Thank you so much.